Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something practical. Forget the textbooks for a moment. Our mission is to look at a whole stack of material aimed at giving you, the listener, the language tools you actually need. Not just for, basic chats, but for describing real life, sometimes high-stakes situations.
That's it, exactly. We want to move you beyond just collecting words. It's about vocabulary leverage, getting you the key verbs, the phrases people really use, the techniques for immersion, language for making toast, sure, but also language for, describing something as intense as a hurricane's aftermath.
Yeah, and we've pulled out some real cheat codes from these sources. We've got info on the best way to practice speaking, plus vocabulary covering everything from a good meal to talking about your goals or even recovering from disaster.
Think of this as a shortcut, really. If you get a handle on these specific things we're covering today, your fluency, it's going to accelerate fast.
Okay, so let's kick off with this first big technique, shadowing. We're told this is like the secret weapon for getting fluent faster. How's it different from just, repeating words you hear?
Well, shadowing is all about speed and mimicry. You listen to a native speaker, could be from a TV show, a news report, anything really, and you repeat immediately, like almost talking over them, an echo. You're aiming to copy their exact rhythm, their intonation, the ups and downs, the tone.
That sounds intense. I can see how that would be hard. Your brain wants to translate first, right?
Exactly. And that speed is the point. It stops your brain from doing that translation step. If you pause, you'll translate. Shadowing forces you to just produce the sounds, the rhythm, based on what you hear. It bypasses that internal chatter in your own language. You're basically training your mouth muscles, not just your memory.
Right, training the muscle memory. Okay, so once your mouth is ready, what kind of language should you focus on first? Where's the biggest win?
You start simple, with the simple present tense. Focus on your daily routine. That's the foundation of, most everyday conversation, isn't it? Sharing what you do. And the simple present is great, because the verb forms are usually basic. Less complex conjugation to worry about, but super high frequency.
I thought that detail about waking up versus getting up was fascinating. There was this teacher who said they wake up at 6:00, but don't actually get up, physically leave the bed until almost 7:00.
And knowing that distinction, that's a sign of fluency. Shows you get the nuances. We also absolutely need those common phrasal verbs for daily life. Native speakers use them constantly. Things like turn off the alarm, stretch, get out of bed, different from just waking up, wash the dishes, tidy up, make the bed,
And for time, remembering to say at around when you're not being exact, like I go to bed at around 10:03.
Yes, exactly. And here's a big one lots of learners slip up on. Duration. You need to use the verb take, not it is 30 minutes. It takes about 30 minutes to get to work. Using take implies that measured time, that effort. It just sounds much more natural to a native speaker. Signals you're quantifying it.
Got it. Takes. Okay. All right. Moving from the commute, let's talk food. Always essential. The sources had some great ways to talk about like quick, unhealthy stuff versus good, solid meals. So say I grab chips and a soda because I'm late. What's the general term?
That's junk food. Simple. If it's prepackaged, maybe a microwave thing, that's a ready meal. And we know those are often full of additives and processed food.
Not ideal.
The contrast is aiming for a nourishing meal, or even better, a square meal. That means, substantial, balanced.
A square meal. I like that. And the ideal is a homemade meal, right? With fresh produce, maybe organic food. But what if I eat those chips before dinner? What does that do?
Then you spoil your appetite. Ruins your hunger for the main meal. But the flip side, if you, say, go for a long run before eating, you work up an appetite. And that makes you really ready for a big, delicious meal. Maybe even a slap-up meal, which means a really large, celebratory kind of meal.
Work up an appetite. Slap-up meal. Love those. Okay, pivoting slightly. Let's talk about phrases that just make you sound more confident, more natural when you're not 100% sure of something.
Yeah, two really high-value ones here. First, give or take. This is huge because, let's be honest, we estimate things all the time. The walk was about 5 miles, give or take. It lets you be approximate without sounding hesitant. It's a great linguistic hedge.
Right, avoid sounding too rigid. Okay, and the second one?
By and large, this one's perfect for giving a general feeling or summing things up when there might be small exceptions. Like, by and large, I really enjoy my job, although the commute is rough. It shows you see the main picture, acknowledges the overall trend or opinion. Very useful.
By and large, got it. Adds a bit of nuance.
Okay, let's switch gears to weather, specifically rain. We need more than just, it's raining. If the sky's all gray, no breaks.
That's overcast.
Right. Then intensity. Very light, fine drops.
A light drizzle.
Exactly. But if it's coming down hard, loud, soaking you in seconds,
A heavy downpour.
perfect. And then the results, the consequences. Little pools of water.
Puddles. And if the downpour keeps going, flooded streets.
Yep, which can lead to traffic jams. And critically, watch out for slippery roads. Paints the whole picture.
Okay, and you mentioned a cool word. The smell of rain.
Ah, yes. That specific earthy smell when rain hits dry ground. The scientific term is petrichor. Using that instantly signals a higher vocabulary level. It's a neat one to know.
Petrichor. Okay, storing that one away. Rainy days also affect how we feel, right?
Definitely. You might feel calm or peaceful, maybe cozy if you're inside. But if it stays dark and gray for ages, you might feel gloomy. That's specifically low energy linked to the bad weather.
Gloomy. Yeah, I get that. And sometimes that mood makes you think about the past.
Exactly. You might feel nostalgic, thinking about old memories. Maybe remembering jumping in puddles as a kid, something like that.
Yeah.
Weather often makes us introspective.
That's a really good link, introspection. Let's apply that to bigger things like life changes, goals. If someone's really thinking hard about their future, what are they doing?
They're doing some serious soul searching, deep reflection. And if they decide, okay, I need a new direction, maybe change careers.
They branch out.
Exactly, branch out. But maybe they're not ready to jump in completely. They want to try it first.
They test the waters, like dipping a toe in before diving.
Perfect analogy, test the waters. Maybe take one class or do a small project on the side. And if you need to explain the main reason, the core motivation for the change,
What's the phrase for getting to the heart of it?
you say it boils down to, and then state the main reason. It boils down to needing more creative freedom, or it boils down to better work-life balance. Cuts right to the core issue.
It boils down to, excellent, very concise.
Now, this is crucial. Real fluency means you can talk about difficult, high-stakes stuff too. We looked at accounts from Hurricane Helene survivors, Asheville area, back in September 2024. And the language needed there, it's intense, very specific.
Yeah, the sources mentioned they were initially expecting, manageable flash flooding, but what they got was landslides. People actually seeing, quote, a house in the middle of the road. The language to describe that immediate shock has to be visceral.
Absolutely. And then the isolation hit, power outages. We read accounts where people first thought a 24-hour outage was like so long. And later they realized how naive that was when it stretched into weeks. No power, no water sometimes, feeling totally cut off from the world. Describing that eerie silence, no city noise, no helicopters initially.
Wow. But then the narrative shifted, right? Towards community, helping each other. You need words for that too.
Definitely. People banding together. That's the key phrase. Sharing supplies, camping gear. Sharing food from their thawing freezers before it's spoiled. Very practical, immediate actions.
And the logistics of getting help in.
Yeah, the sources mention specifics like private helicopters paid for by donations for rescues, and utility crews coming from far away, like the Ottawa linemen from Canada, to fix power lines. You need that kind of professional, specific language.
It really highlights how fluency isn't just about, ordering coffee. It's about expressing deep, complex emotions too, like the survivor's guilt people felt, or the trauma, that specific detail about people being scared of trees afterward.
Yes, that really hits home. You need the vocabulary to share that kind of complex grief, to connect with others going through it. And finally, there was language about recovery, finding hope. One person talked about feeling this intense rejuvenation, this comfort, not from some huge official effort, but just from chopping vegetables together at a community kitchen. It shows how powerful those small, shared actions can feel, and you need words to express that too.
Chopping vegetables, wow. Small actions, big impact. #tag outro. So, quite the journey today. We've gone from mechanics of shadowing to ordering a square meal, all the way to finding words for trauma and that feeling of rejuvenation after a crisis. Hopefully you feel better equipped now with language for both the everyday calm and, the potential chaos.
Exactly. Because true fluency, it's not about how many words you know in a list. It's about being able to say what you really mean, what you really feel, whether it's your morning routine or something much deeper. This kind of knowledge, it takes you way beyond the standard textbook stuff.
Absolutely. We've covered the language of waking up, the language of a community pulling together after disaster. So here's something for you, the listener, to think about. Consider one personal story or maybe just a strongly felt experience you've had. Could be big, could be small. Now pick just one specific phrase we talk about today that you feel would perfectly capture a part of that experience. What would it be?